Chad with Flash Performance, and the other weekend we went camping. We took our 34-foot Bounder here. This is a 99 Fleetwood, and this has got the gas V10 in it, and we had a blast. We went out camping with a bunch of friends, and then it came to teardown time. We started tearing down, we started putting the slide in, and then it was time to retract the leveling system on the RV. Well, it didn't want to retract. It just stuck. You could push the buttons as many times as you want to, and we were at a campsite, so we didn't really think about bringing, you know, a bunch of different tools to be able to diagnose a system of the retraction system. And luckily I had one of my very good friends there, and we were able to do a little bit of diagnostics to figure out what was going on. But basically all we figured out was the solenoid to release the fluid so all of the stands would retract. Well, it wasn't working. We checked powers and grounds and we did all that stuff, and the solenoid just wasn't activating. So let me show you what we're working with and what I'm talking about. So when we talk about the retraction system, we're talking about this leveling system of these jacks here underneath the unit. And the two front ones are actually tied together as one single circuit, and then you have the ones in the back that are individual circuits, so you can level it out, and then the front ones will pivot. What we ended up having to do at the campsite, unfortunately, was we had to get to the jack itself and then take the hydraulic line loose to be able to relieve the pressure in all the different jacks to be able to get the jacks to retract. So at least I could get home. So on this 99 Bounder, up here at the front right corner is going to be the hydraulic leveling system. And these really haven't changed too much over the years, and the manufacturers really haven't gone away. But you can see that this bottom one here is the release valve, and these are the up valves. So you're going to have a front, a rear left, and a rear right, and then a dump valve. This coil goes around that dump valve, and whenever you activate the coil via power and ground, it creates a magnetic pull in here that pulls that dump valve open to be able to relieve the pressure. So my thought is that this coil itself is bad. So how do we test the coil? So my setup for testing is pretty simple. I need a battery pack or a power supply that can produce at least 12 volts, because that's what this is used to, and even more usually when the vehicle is running. I have my digital volt ohm meter just to be able to make sure that I'm getting power to the coil, and the coil itself is just connected via power and ground, and there is no power and ground, it's just one or the other. It will work either way. So we're going to go ahead and power up our JS3000 here. This is actually a jump starting unit, and this allows us to produce that power when we click the boost mode button. So we'll click boost mode, you'll see the power come on, boom, we have voltage, and then I can take a screwdriver and I can put it in that coil, and that should grab the screwdriver, creating that magnetic current, and you can see that we don't have that with this setup. So I did go ahead and get a new coil, so let's go ahead and test that new coil the same way. So I have the battery pack on, I have the voltage, and I have the new coil, and you'll see that whenever we slide the new coil through, it automatically tries to grab that, proving that it has a magnetic force to it. So we know that this coil is good, and this coil is not good. So let's see if this solves our problem. And like I said, I went ahead and picked up this new valve just because I'm already there. It's easy to unscrew. I might as well go ahead and put a new valve in it just because of the age of the old one, just to make sure that we fix the problem over there. So it's a different night and a different evening and a different change of clothes, because nothing ever goes right when you're working on an RV. I got everything installed and done and ready to go, and found out that the battery was, well, junk, and it wouldn't hold a charge. So I had to get that fixed and go through that whole process. But as you can see here, we're going down with the rears, getting those all the way to the ground. And now we're going to go down with the front and get those all the way to the ground as well. And as we go through, once we get to the top, all we have to do is push retract all, and the jacks will go back up. So now that we have the solenoid replaced and the valve, everything is good to go, and the RV is ready for another camping trip. I'm Chad from Flash Performance. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time.